Welcome to the Smart Aerialist podcast. I'm Ophelia, your host, an aerial coach, movement specialist, and lifelong performer. This podcast is for aerialists who want to train smarter, move better, and build strength and flexibility in a sustainable way. We'll dive into the science of aerial training, injury prevention, and long-term progress so you can keep growing without burnout. Whether you're just starting out or refining your craft, you're in the right place. Let's get into it. Team, hello. It has been a while since I came on here. First of all, I want to apologize because I understand that I really wanted to keep up with all of you beautiful subscribers on YouTube and on Spotify. I know that you have also been following religiously everything that I post on Instagram and on other social media platforms, but you mostly are aware that I've completely disappeared off the face of the earth of podcasting for a while. And I just wanted to kind of have a little catch up with my online podcast fam and just explain what happened a little bit more in detail and where I'd like this podcast to go. First of all, I have completely fallen off the wagon in a content creation. If you know about me, you know that I've been going through perimenopause recently, and I have been it's been very difficult for me to actually keep going with a lot of other things beyond my teaching hours. So something that most of you maybe don't understand is that my teaching hours that I do in London are pretty much what pays my rent and my bills. And then my online business is obviously from all the memberships and from everyone that I train online and one-on-one. That obviously pays, I have to pay bills for running that business. So I still have to teach classes because my online business is not yet fully covering my rent and my bills either. That means that I do teach a fair, substantial amount of classes on a weekly basis. I was at 18 classes a week and I've reduced this to 17. So I've taken one class off so far because of my online business actually growing a little bit, which is very satisfying because this is the aim for me. As I'm getting a bit older, I am aiming in reducing the amount of physical hours I provide. Going through perimenopause really reset my mental health in a way that I was really struggling. And when you go through perimenopause, you have a lot of brain fog, you have a lot of extreme fatigue, and you also end up having a lot of mood changes, which makes teaching quite difficult in terms of feeling patience and handling the amount of energy you have to give to other people. So the rest of the time, I was completely out of commission. I completely lost my social life, and creating content, as much as it's got a great return in terms of building a community and also bringing me clients, bringing me members and people, it is also extremely time consuming. And I know because I'm actually a marketing professional as well, I also do that as a job from one-off, or I have marketing clients on the side, just the same way I have fitness clients. I do enjoy making content that is actually meaningful and intentional. And for the last few months, almost the last year, to be honest with you, my content wasn't as intentional because I just needed to get something out there for the sake of it. And also, I was still trying to find a bit more what I wanted to talk about, which over the last year has been kind of refining itself because everything has been a wake-up call going through these challenges that perimenopause has put into my path. Which means, in a sense, that the podcasting has had to take a back seat. I have been trying to keep up with blogging and social media content, but the whole of last month, the whole of April, I started HRT and things have reset in a way that I didn't expect, to the point that I literally did not feel like doing anything at all remotely online. And what you have to understand is, as I'm a one single person, I am really trying to see if I could hire someone I can delegate some tasks to, because it's getting slightly overwhelming. However, creating a podcast is one of the most time-consuming things to do. I have to record, which I'm doing now, which is extra energy I need to give you, talking to a camera for a certain amount of time. and trying to also not lose my train of thought when you're going through perimenopause and have brain fog. And that was one of the things as well I was finding difficult. Just having energy to be there in front of the camera and in front of a microphone when I'm already for about 25 hours of my week talking to people and handling classes and discussing and explaining and chatting. So podcasting for me was one of the hardest thing to do. On top of it, it's actually quite hard to edit a podcast to make it concise and make it quite good. And those are the things I literally could not be bothered with. Editing a podcast can be quite tedious. It's a little bit different from editing tutorials or editing other sort of videos. Editing a podcast is not that interesting. And on top of it, from that podcast, as you know, if you follow me on Instagram, you know that I also have to choose small segments of my podcast to put on my social media. And that is also extra time to edit those videos. And those are the things that were taking too much of my time for me to be able to do that. Too much of my time, too much of my energy, and too much of my brain power. So this is one of the main reasons why I haven't been podcasting much. I really found it difficult to keep up with that part. Creating content on average will take a good 40 to 60 hours in a month. So when you already work 25 hours a week physically and you have to commute between 15 different studios, which is where I teach and train my clients across London, there is no way I wanted to actually spend the rest of my time or my days off sitting down and talking to a microphone. So this is the honest bit. This is the complete honest bit. I want to stay completely transparent. Everybody knows right now that things are expensive. If you want to go on holiday, things like that, yes, there is a lot of things that we need to do. And this was one of the things as well. I wanted to rest. And even today, the day I'm recording this is a Thursday. And I'm on HRT and I've had some considerable and pleasant improvement to my health. The progesterone part of the HRT is quite difficult because it's not the bioidentical progesterone. I'll be talking about HRT a little bit more, my experience through it. But when you're on a progestin, it's quite a high dose of synthetic progesterone and not everyone handles it very well. And I think I took the contraceptive pill for too long in my life to have now the capacity to handle synthetic progesterone. And that also gives me 2.5 weeks of back to perimenopause symptoms and extreme exhaustion. So there's 2.5 weeks still out of the months where I'm feeling pretty rubbish and struggling to find energy to do a lot of things. I'm on a phase where I'm clearing out the progestin. So I'm on that sort of half week where I'm clearing out the progestin. I'm on my 6th day of work and it's Thursday. And I've even had to take a nap. I've had to, if you're watching the video, you see the cushions behind me. I was taking a nap. I had to take a nap before I hopped on and did this. So this is where my life is at the moment, team. I'm just kind of navigating this thing called life and aging in the best way possible, and also putting myself a little bit first from times to times, and starting to try and actually give myself more time to go and train at the National Centre of Circus Arts, which I've just joined as an open practice member. Giving myself more time to be able to go and do yoga classes and dance classes and do some courses to develop my professional skills as well as a coach and create. I started writing in my journal a little bit more often, and I want to start DJing music again. And all these things are part of my effort to expand my life outside my work. As much as I love my work, you will know that it can be quite consuming for coaches, give everything of their life to their work because we're very passionate about it. And I'm trying to relearn how to actually give myself a bit more expansion to myself, while I can still try and balance giving expansion and growth and every bit of knowledge and expertise I have to other people. So this is just a podcast, a little episode to bridge over the stuff that I'm going to try to do. I will do my best to keep up with recording podcasts. I want to keep a cadence where I will try and record 2 per month. Hopefully this will be a cadence I will be able to cope with. I feel like I'm coming back on top of my to-do list right now. I'm always giving myself some very optimistic and projects. I'm looking at my calendar where I'm launching another 2 programs this year. Up and overs and rolls and skin the cats and shoulder extensions. Those are my upcoming programs. So I have also other projects. My family acquired an old family house that we're trying to refurb. My flatmates and I are trying to work on a cooperative project. So there is a lot going on in my life, and I still want to give the podcast some time, because I do enjoy giving the podcast, but I did lose the joy for it while I was away. So this was why I just stepped back as well. So this is a bit honest hour. I aim to really do maybe a podcast where I'll be talking about perimenopause from time to time, because this is what I'm going through, and I think we need to talk about it more and more now. I think awareness is where it's at. And obviously still talk about all the aerialist stuff. And I kind of blew up on Instagram because of the mental health awareness months, yeah. And this is something that also I think we should discuss on. So I'm really trying to get more collaborators on that podcast as well, because I think that would make me a bit more accountable to getting this done more often. So if you're interested, or if you know someone I should collaborate with, to send them my way. And also, please start letting me know what you want me to talk about, because I know I can create things, but it's so much better when people ask me questions and I actually create the content around them. So I'm not going to spend too much time talking about my life. I just thought it was good to keep in touch for a bit, just letting you know what's been going on. And then from here, hopefully rebuild and expand the podcast as it is. I just want to thank you again for those who have been sticking around. I hope you understand where things are at the moment. If you are going through something similar, you know, I get you. And yeah, just stay in touch with me as well. Let me know how everything is going from your end, and send your questions to let me know what you'd like me to speak of on the podcast. But I will speak to you soon. I promise that I will record more this year, and podcasts are definitely coming back. I'm just slowly readjusting to all this new life thing, hormones, and getting a bit older and still enjoying aerial. I will see you in the next episode. Bye. I also want to remind you that there is a treasure trove of free content that you can access and I create for you. First of all, with every episode, you will see there are show notes where you can access the blog that relate to this episode. The blog dives a little bit deeper into details and also provide added references for you, some extra reading and some science papers that have inspired those episodes and those blogs. Second of all, you can also check out my YouTube channel, where you will find a lot of workouts and flexibility, conditioning and strength exercises that are suited for aerialists in particular, but just not aerialists as well. And finally, don't forget to check out my app and the Aerialist Performance Lab.